What's the music do? Anything that's raging inside you. This won't hurt me. And moves seems to whisper, hang on you. Twisted transistor.
Hello everybody and welcome to Amphlett Reviews, back in a Hong Kong content review, continuing on and finishing the Mr. Vampire franchise for October, Halloween 2024. Thank you everyone who's been engaging with these videos, who've been commenting, liking, subscribing, who've been really enjoying this output of kind of like, yeah, Mr. Vampire content. I've really enjoyed kind of diving into these films myself, and to do it in a very specific kind of format, in a theme, is definitely very much to my liking. I've definitely got some plans for some more content while we're on the spooky subject, while we're on the kind of the back end of Halloween now. There's a few more still in the collection that I want to talk about, and I'll give you a hint at the end of the video. And we're on number 6 in the Mr. Vampire franchise with Magic Cop, directed by Stephen Tong Wai, which has recently got a bit of buzz from the recent Stuntman from 2024 that I recently have talked about on the channel. He plays a main character in that. He's also known in the Hong Kong industry as a really famous, really well highly regarded stuntman, who's also done a few directed movies and been behind the scenes in some of the golden age of Hong Kong cinema. Definitely recommend checking out Stuntman if you still got the opportunity. I think it's still in cinemas. If it's not, it will get a Cinema Asia release probably very, very soon on Blu-ray, and maybe even a 4K potentially. But this is one of his directed films. I've only ever seen Contracts or Hitman. There's quite a few different titles. The Jet Li film, which I have reviewed on the channel, so I'll put a link in the description below for that. And he has done a few others, which I haven't got around to watching as of yet, but mainly done a couple of thrillers, a couple of action movies. And of course, we have Lam Ching back one last time, officially as our favorite kind of talisman priest, this time also playing a detective cop character alongside his kind of side activities with his supernatural kind of hijinks. Now, straight off the bat, Magic Cop has a really great premise and a really cool idea of, hey, let's take the Mr. Vampire franchise, the idea of that, and let's place it in a modern setting, very similar to part 2. We'll have him as a cop, also as a talisman, brilliant. We have this kind of undercover kind of like, we have this kind of like conspiracy, kind of mystical kind of, you know, drug operation. It also leads into kind of Japanese kind of magic, and we have a witch involved. We have possessed undead people, basically. They've been sent out into various parts of kind of Hong Kong to do kind of drug deals and kind of drop-offs, and being treated like a puppet, essentially, which is shown within the film in terms of the kind of the magic. It's very much in the line of Dead Heat, or I would say to a lesser extent, the Ryan Reynolds Rest in Peace department, where you've got very similar kind of ideas in terms of a beat cop versus the kind of regular day kind of normal cop that's kind of thrown into this kind of supernatural world and kind of uncovering the mysteries as it's going along. That's what the film is selling on paper. That's what the film is ultimately in its concept, to its core, is exactly that. And it should be fucking awesome. It should be badass. It should be really cool. And it does have some really cool practical effects. It has some great fight scenes. Of course, this is a stunt director. No doubt in my mind that it would deliver on that. It does deliver. The third act's pretty cool. There's a great opening sequence as well in terms of a spirit with bricks and stuff, and some of the practical effects and some of the fights and some of the kind of really cool, neat ideas are definitely well utilized and definitely are presented here. However, the film is so low energy and it focuses so much of its runtime. This is an hour-and-a-half film. This is a short runtime movie, and it focuses on really awkward, silly kind of slapstick humor. And it's a common trend within late 80s going into 90s kind of movies where there has to be an over amount of kind of comedy. You know, the franchise is known for doing comedy, but there's also a good level kind of balance between your horror, your practical effects, your slapstick comedy, your dark comedy, an interesting kind of premise, a great story, and just a great adventure movie. And presentedly on the two douchebag characters, you know, the kind of the police officer detective characters, they're the non-believers. They don't believe in this kind of magical kind of possession or anything, that kind of stuff. And you've got two of the characters there, which are basically best friends. One's a bit more of a believer than other. And, you know, there's a whole random long ass sequence at the apartment where he's kind of had this really weird setup for some reason. It's meant to be a bit of a joke. It's not particularly that funny. And it's just a lot of excess, a lot of kind of waiting around, a lot of kind of, you know, the best way to describe Magic Cop is essentially getting into a car, both hands on the wheel, you're ready to go, you've got the initial on, and it does not decide to go anywhere for the longest time. You're literally back behind that car. You're thinking, well, is something going to happen? Are you going? Are you staying? Well, what's going on? Are you getting out of the car? Are you driving somewhere? where's the film going? The film itself doesn't have to have non-stop action. The film itself does have good practical effects. It does have some good action escalation in the right moments. However, it doesn't feel that particularly that interesting. It doesn't, the premise of the film, the characters, it doesn't feel like it's invested in those ideas. It's kind of like, oh yeah, we just have to kind of give it done. We're just, even the whole resolution of the third act of the film with the whole Japanese witch kind of sorcerer character is just so easily kind of presented and kind of done and over with, and it's kind of, the film can't wait itself to really finish, and it kind of ends in a whimper then a bang, which is a bit of a shame because Mr. Vampire vs. Vampire was so fun, so bursting with energy. Unfortunately, Magic Cop is a bit of a disappointment to watch. It's nowhere near as bad as Mr. Vampire 4, and I definitely think this could have been a trilogy even by itself. I think Magic Cop could have been easily another series of movies that could have been really interesting, really fun, and unfortunately it's just kind of ends on a bit of a downer. So what are your thoughts and opinions on Magic Cop, guys? Please comment down below. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on the franchise itself. What is your favorite of the Mr. Vampire franchise? What do you think of Magic Cop? Do you think this could have been potentially a Kickstarter series for a new trilogy? Could this have been a great kind of series of movies? Love to know your thoughts and opinions, guys. Please comment down below. So in the meantime, guys, Amphlett Reviews, signing out.
Precious Venus.